Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm TJ, the creative behind TJ's Magic Touch. I'm going to dive right on in showing you Photoshop's main interface, and to the left we're going to click on new file. Once clicking on new file, your new document panel pops up, and to the right of this new document panel you will see preset details. The first line will say untitled, and that is where you will type in the title of the template that you are creating. Our width for today will be 3.75 inches and our height will be 3.25 inches. We are still working in portrait orientation. We are going to be using 300 pixels per inch, designing in RGB color mode 8-bit, and for this we will leave our background white. After making sure everything is set up the way we want, we will click on create. Now I do want to start off by saying I apologize that I did not reset my interface to default essentials, or essentials default rather, so your screen may look a little bit differently than mine. Previously I've got messages from viewers who may not have fully understood the way that I do the ruler setup. So here with our shape tool or pressing U on your keyboard, we're going to draw a rectangle. Now this is an extra step for some if you do it this method versus just using your guides, but I did want to show another way and also maybe better explain how the guides work by putting a shape in front of you so you can see what it is exactly that I'm doing. So I'm setting up my rectangle to be 1 inch in height and stretching it across the screen so that I can center it. Once it's centered, because this 1 inch space is actually my design space, so once it's centered, I'm going to take my guides and I'm going to drag my guides to the outside of the shape. Now if you are a designer that likes to use rectangles or build with rectangles, then this would probably be a better method for you. I personally cannot work like this with the shapes stacked because I always end up moving them around, so I prefer to work with guides instead, but I did want to show you that this is a method you can use. Now with everything set up the way we want it to be set up, we're going to go to file and save. Now since this is a PSD, we don't have to do anything extra at this point other than save it so that we have our basis for our template. Now the elements that I'll be using today, or clip art, PNG images, whatever, graphics, whatever words you want to use, they came from Creative Fabrica. This is a free bundle. I will be listing the link below so that you can get your hands on this freebie. It is packed with some really cute elements. One of the things that I absolutely love about this bundle, as you can see, is that each set comes with both a PNG set as well as a PSD set, which is your Photoshop file. This makes designing really easy because I'm able to just click on the layer and then drag it into what I'm working on. So I'm gonna start by taking this PSD frame, clicking on the layer and dragging it onto our template. Now it's placed and you think that it's empty. No, it's actually extremely large in comparison to the template that we designed. So Alt and scroll on your mouse to zoom in and out quickly, and then you'll be able to resize the frame. Once my frame is centered, I'm going to change the color of my background by clicking on my background layer and my paint bucket tool and making sure that I have the color selected. Now I was not happy with this, so I decided to click on the color picker tool and then change the pink by trying to match up the leaves a little bit more closely and dropping a different pink onto the screen. Then I decided that I wanted to change up the way the leaves looked a little bit by adding a drop shadow and basically giving them some dimension so they didn't look so flat on the screen. Now I'm going to go into my other page that I have open, my other set with the animals, and I'm going to drag and drop in the little lion. I'm going to size him down so that he fits onto the screen, and the same thing that I did with the leaves I'm going to do with him by clicking on effects and giving him a small little drop shadow and a tiny little stroke, just so he's not completely blended into the background. Once I adjust him the way I want, I'm going to click on OK and then add some text to the screen. So after he's all adjusted, I'm going to click on the capital T, which is my text tool, or T on the keyboard. Then I am going to size down the font and choose the actual font that I want to use. Now that I have the font I want to use, I'm going to double click it in order to edit the text. And with each of these little designs that I'm doing, I'm just going to do something cute and kind of quirky that matches the animal that will be on the wrapper. And same as before with the leaves and the lion, you go down to your FX panel in order to add a stroke or a drop shadow. Now at the top of this, or should I say at the back of this, I'm going to add just a little Created with Love by TJ's Magic Touch. These wrappers are so tiny, I don't really see a need or think there's a need for like barcode, nutrition label and all that kind of stuff, because typically when you buy them in the store, they're in a big pack. So all of that information is actually on the outside of a bigger bag and not too much on these, even though they do have a little something. I just don't think it's necessary when you're doing something like classroom favors. Once I have everything the way I want it to be, I'm going to go to File and Save As. And remember, my save folder will pop up on a second screen, so you won't see all of the files in my folder. But I am going to save this PST as part 1. Then I'm going to do File and Save a Copy in order to save it as a JPEG. I will do this particular step 5 more times because I am designing 6 wrappers. Now to get started with the next wrapper, I'm going to click on the layer that has my little lion and I'm going to delete him and click on the elephant. I'm going to bring the elephant in the same way I did the lion, and I'm going to resize him so that he fits within my 1-inch guides. After resizing him to the size that I want, I'm going to adjust or edit the text so that the text will read a different message. After getting the elephant size the way that I want and getting the message the way that I want the letters to look, I'm going to repeat the previous steps of going through and changing the background color, adding the stroke and drop shadow to the elephant, as well as changing the color of the text, which you do in your properties panel as long as your text layer is selected. Now that I have the design the way that I want it, I'm going to complete the previous steps again. I'm going to go to file and save as. In this particular file, I'm going to save as part 2, then file and save a copy in order to save it as a JPEG. Now once again, for the next 4 wrappers, I'm going to complete these same steps that I previously done. I'm going to change the fonts. I'm going to remove the current animal and replace it with a different animal. I will adjust the colors of the font, adjust the colors of the background until I get it the way that I like it. And then I will repeat steps 1 and 2. File, save as, save my PSD as whatever file number I'm on, and then file, save a copy to save it as a JPEG also. Now with this last design, I'm going to include 2 animals, mainly because I could not think of a cute saying to go with them. So I'm going to click on the snake, hold down control, and click on the giraffe also. While both layers are still selected, I can adjust the sizes of them together, zoom back in and adjust them on the screen the way that I want them to be, and then repeat the previous steps of adjusting the text with a cute message, adding the strokes and the drop shadows as well, and then file, save as whatever part number this is, which is part 6, and then file and save a copy in order to save it as a JPEG. Now for this message, I could not get it to naturally do what I wanted it to do because of the way the font is set up for spacing. So I'm going to click on this capital A for character, and then I'm going to adjust the spacing in between each line to my liking instead of the way that it happens naturally when you press enter. Now that my last file is complete, I'm going to close the other 2 windows that I have open, file new, and then I'm going to set up an 8.5 by 11, which is a basic standard sheet of paper. Then I'm going to open my file folder, and I'm going to click on each of the 6 JPEGs that we made, drag them all in, click on them one by one to make them appear on the screen. Then I'm going to move them so that I will be able to print everything out and then cut it out. After I get everything adjusted on the print sheet the way that I want, I'm going to go to layer and flatten the image so that it's all one piece and that it's less of a chance that the file will be edited. So then I will file and save as a PDF, as well as file and save as a JPEG. Now I'm going to print this out, cut it out, and show you a quick and easy way to assemble. Assembly will be pretty straightforward. You don't need a whole lot of supplies for this. You'll need a good pair of scissors. I like these Scotch brand scissors, your printouts, these Hershey Kisses, as well as pinking shears. Now I have these scalloped shears because I do like the way they look on mini candies, as well as the traditional pinking shears that I use for literally everything else, as you can see. And of course you're going to need some double-sided tape or a tape runner. Here I have the AdTech Crafters tape runner. Now for these, you want to make sure that you fold in the end pieces or get a little piece of Scotch tape. Again, I don't think it's necessary to do all of those extra steps when it comes to minis, so I do the standard tape around 3 edges, fold the left side over, fold the right side over. I pinch the middle, squeeze the sides, and then finish closing off the ends. Another step that I don't take with minis is I don't use a crimper. I just don't think it's necessary. But if it is a step you want to take, by all means, you do what you feel is best or what you feel looks best whenever you are making favors or treats or little gifts to give away. Here I'm showing you once again, fold over the left side, fold over the right side. I squeeze in the middle, pinch the sides, and then complete the closing. This one I am going to cut with these scallop shears just so you can see how they look side by side in comparison. I do like the look of both, but I really do like the scallop look on mini candies. I don't know what it is, I just like the way it looks. Now I will say, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. And just for you and getting here, you can have this file if you are interested in it for just $2. PayPal me and I will email the files to you so that you can use it. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share because sharing is caring. Comment down below what you loved about it, what you didn't love about it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and until next time, bye guys.